Nathan, 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 NathanIvy.com. Mr. Ivy know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, closed fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivy, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Further, or if I, hey, pop that down, DJ. Good morning, everybody. If I see further, it's only because I stand on the shoulders of giants that came before me. Good morning, everybody. Nathan Ivy. Welcome back to the Nathan Ivy Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati media. If you want it real, if you want it raw, in terms of you want it unfiltered, this is a spot to be in the city of Cincinnati. Good morning to you. This is independent media. Good morning. This is black media. Good morning. Let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about numerous things that have happened within the last 24 hours, and I also want to speculate forward. I'll put this on the table. You pick it up where you may be. There's a rumor out there that a black man who recently was a judge, might be running for another office. And the rumor is Hamilton County prosecutor. Let that sink in. Fill in the blanks. What is he talking about? I'll share with you in just a couple of minutes. 513-873-7134. I'm also trying to see if I can get Pastor Leslie Jones to be on the show today. Pastor Leslie Jones is... got crazy respect for Pastor Leslie Jones. She is a chopper as well. So Pastor Leslie Jones may come on and talk about districts. There's a conversation going on here in Hamilton County because of a new proposal that would change the way that we elect members of city council. And the change would be to go to a district type of format. Right now, it's at large. You've got, 51 neighborhoods in Cincinnati that comprise the Cincinnati area. And it is an at-large run for 9 members of city council. It's at large, meaning that it's the top 9 vote getters cumulatively. Once you connect all of the different and count up all the different votes from the 51 different neighborhoods. So there were a change to districts would be like, okay, think about it. You've got District 1, District 2, District 3, District 4. These districts would align with a certain geographical area of Cincinnati. So let's say Coreyville, Mount Adams, Coreyville, Mount Auburn, Mount Adams, Walnut Hills. That's one district. Okay. So kind of visualize that. And I've seen over the years different sort of mock drawings and or renderings of what people might conceptualize it might look like, so just to give you some idea. The Hamilton County Democrat Party put out a statement which some people said was undemocratic, because in their statement, they were urging potential voters to not sign a petition that, if you get enough signatures, would then put it on the ballot before the voters. Some folks said and criticized the Democrats that was undemocratic. Is it undemocratic to you? In their statement, the Hamilton County Democrat Party said, among other things, that they felt like it would be bad for African Americans. So, without having any previous knowledge or having done deeper research yesterday, we dived into a little bit. I mean, think about it right now. You've got 4 members of city council that are African American. Wendell Young, Jeff Pastor, Tamaya Denard, Christopher Smitherman. Okay? Run the numbers real quick. What is that, 40%? Somewhere around there, 45 of the overall number or percentage of black elected officials, African American elected officials who are on city council. So it kind of seems like, and there have been more than that. Think about it. If Yvette Simpson was not on, you can speculate that Yvette Simpson would have been reelected. Now, would that have pushed out Jeff Pastor? I don't know. But it seems like to get 4 or even 5 members of city council doesn't seem like that's far-fetched, does it? It doesn't. I mean, think we recently had, he was term limited out, but that was Charlie Wimber, African American. And there's been a lot of African Americans that have come through city council over the years. If we go to districts, would that make it more difficult to get that kind of representation on council? Well, I mean, off the top of the dome, it depends, I guess, on how the districts are drawn. But I can definitely understand that. I want to get into it with you, though. 513-873-7134. That is my number if you like to share your thoughts. I want to talk about marriage rates. A new study says that marriage rates are declining. People ain't getting married the way they used to. They're not getting married the way they used to. Why? Social scientists from Cornell University collected data on marriages between 2007, 2012, and 2013 to 2017. And they explored what economic characteristics lead to compatibility between couples. They took data they collected on unmarried men and compared them to the profiles of potential fake spouses they created based on information pulled from the American Community Survey. Did you fill out the American Community Survey? I don't remember doing that. Long story short, what they found is that one of the most significant factors that's leading to the decline in marriage rates, or in the marriage rate, is because men aren't, quote unquote, economically attractive. Men aren't economically attractive, meaning that there are women out there making enough money where they don't have to feel like economically they got to shack up with some dude in order to make it, in order to live their best life. Is this the devil's work? Back in the day, a woman economically was forced to deal with the BS of a man. That's what kept us together. Right? Yeah, these women are like, man, I don't got to take that. I ain't got time for this. So it's a couple things that's pushing it. One is the societal pressures today are nowhere like they used to be. Back in the day, women were forced, pressured everywhere. You 21? What's wrong with you? You ain't got no man? But now we're a couple generations into, people going to college, women getting college degrees. They don't need us. Women don't need us. This is a problem. What are we going to do about this? So you don't have the same societal pressures, and then women are making more money. They're making enough money to live their best life without a man. This is ungodly. Quote, marriage is still based on love, But it is also fundamentally an economic transaction. Where have you heard that before? That's what marriage is. Marriage is an economic transaction. That's what it's all about. Or that's the way we should look at it anyway. Many young men, I'm reading directly from what's reported from the actual report itself. I'm on Black America Web. Many young men today have little to bring to the marriage bargain, especially as young women's educational levels on average now exceed their male suitors. What in the devil is behind this? Or maybe not. It's just the society's changing. Quick sidebar. We've got a couple things set up here. So we got a CCW class that is, we still have spots open for you this Saturday. That's the 21st. The total cost for us will be $90. You can bring your own firearm or you don't have to. If you bring your own firearm, I've been told to tell you to bring about 50 rounds of ammunition if you bring your own firearm, okay? What you need to do is to cash at me to the Nathan Ivy Show, and it'll just sit there until, you actually attend the class. I know some people are like, well, Nate, can I go ahead and just prepay you? And I was saying no at that point, but as we're getting closer to doing the classes, yeah, you can do that. So say, for instance, you cash at me $90 and you can't make it to the Saturday class. Well, there's some folks that Saturday doesn't work. Sunday would be better. So we're going to do some things in October as well. So think the second Sunday in October, that's available to us as well if you're interested in doing a CCW class. We're going to do it with the Ride or Die folks. To kick it off, we're going to do it with the Ride or Die folks. Shout out to Forte and his crew. Okay, and that's this Saturday. It's an 8-hour certification. Starts at about 8:15. We're going to end about 4:30. Okay, so cash at me, and then I will get the information to you as to where it's going to be. We're going to be doing it at Second Baptist over on North Bend, on Betts, Betts. Okay, we're all going to meet there. I will be there as well. Sharp, I know I already got the cash app from you, man. I know you're in. And I'm going to reach out again. If you should have gotten an email from me within the last 24 hours, if you sent me an email. So please check your emails and let me know if you're interested. If this Saturday does not work, you don't have to worry. This is God. For us to all to get in the same place, it may take us a couple of classes. Okay. And the second week of October is the second Sunday in October is available to us as well at the same rate. So either one, 21st this Saturday or the second Sunday in October. Okay. And don't worry if it's a Bengal Sunday because they're going to lose anyway. So don't even worry about it. Okay. All you got to do is TiVo it. Okay. You can stream it now. All you got to do is shut your phone down, turn the radio off, and you'll be fine. Get home and watch the game in your leisure. But it's time for us to get proficient. I was just talking with Forte the other day, and he's super excited to work with us. He's super duper excited. But back to this. So right now we're talking about a new study. The social scientists got together at Cornell University. I guess that means something because it's Cornell. And they were trying to figure out what's happening with the decline in the marriage rate. And among other factors, what they found is that men are less and less economically fucking attractive. Think about that. We ain't even attractive. Some of us, when I say we, I'm speaking of men in general. And, to be honest with you, this is the only reason why some women ever stayed with some of you Neanderthals, some of y'all fathers and your grandfathers and your damn uncles, Neanderthals. And because of the glass ceiling, and all of, the gender apartheid against women that affected the amount of money they can make, women just had to deal with our shit. It's got to deal with, oh boy, I want to move. I want to leave this mofo, but he's the breadwinner. Oh, I got to stay, right? Women ain't doing that no more. And I ain't mad at them. Go live your best life. I'll say it again. I got really upset about a year and a half ago when a viral video came out, and it was this young sister black girl. I think she was an AKA too, and she was graduating. And then her dude decided that on her graduation day that he was going to propose to her. I'm still mad about that. I wish a motherfucker would do that with my daughter. I'm going to shut it down. Telling you, not today, B, because today is all about celebrating her. Save your little trinket, for another day, not on this day. You know what I'm saying? I just got mad. I'm like, why can't we celebrate this young sister and the whole day just be about her? Her dude comes in acting like this is some kind of better thing. And he broke. I don't know if he was broke or not, but I'm just saying. Nah, hell no. Your number one goal, I hope that the number one goal of my daughter is not to get married to some dude. I'm just telling you that this ain't the fucking 1800s. That don't mean nothing to me. Nothing. As a father, that means nothing to me. Thank you. I can't. Well, I can spell, actually. I can spell very well. Let me make a correction right here. So my daughter is 14 right now. And, she's going to be dealing with all this stuff moving forward. And the day that she graduates from college is going to be a huge day. It's going to be a huge accomplishment for us, for her, and for her family. And I don't want some dude coming in on the day that she graduates talking about, I want to marry you. It's almost like he's trying to one-up her. Oh, man, save all of that. That's great. That's great. Oh, you want to marry my daughter? Cool. We can talk about it later. But today we want to celebrate the fact that she's a college graduate. Hooray. It's going to be a great day. So, ladies, does this ring true to you? Or if you are single, or do you find some of the men around you to be economically unattractive? Now, it's kind of sexist, isn't it? Because what if a man looked at a woman and said, well, she's economically unattractive? Or do men look at women that way? What do you do? Speaking to single ladies, is this study a reflection of your experience? I'd like to know. And in the black community, quite honestly, this is one of the reasons why some of these sisters are turning to non-black men. How many people believe that? It's economics. Like, hey, he got more. It's real simple. Very, very simple. Ladies have they want to live a certain lifestyle. And if the brothers that they come across can't provide that, then, hey, what was that Sanaa Lathan movie? When she was dealing with all of this, she was like a high-powered lawyer. Oh, my gosh, she was so sexy in that movie. Woo! Oh, my G, me. Hold on a second. I got to conduct myself. Man, Sanaa Lathan had it going on. What was it like? Something New, I think was the name of the movie. And she had all these black dudes, and none of them could work. But then she met a white dude. He was like a painter or something. She hired him he was a landscaper. Something like that. It was kind of like white collar, blue collar. And she chose the white dude. That was a harbinger of things to come. Now, I've heard some black men make the argument and complain about that. They're like, well, man, the reason why black men in general are not at the same level is because of racism. It was all part of a plan to keep the black man down. You flash forward to the new millennium, and now it worked. It worked, right? So now brothers on average are not making as much as the white male. And then you got the highly educated black female that wants to hold it against them. What do you think? I throw it out there to the ether. 513-873-7134. Sad, man. Who's behind this? It's a plot. Lead researcher on the study, a Dr. Daniel Lichter, said of the findings, quote, most women hope to marry, but current shortages of marriageable men with a stable job and a good income, make this increasingly difficult. Especially in the current gig economy of unstable, low-paying service jobs. I'd like to see the racial breakdowns of this. I think that based upon, previous things that we know, previous studies, just life in general, we could probably speculate where black men fall on that spectrum. Yeah, we could probably speculate on that. 513-873 and probably be right. 7134. I want to say shout out to my daughter's school, that's Walnut Hills High School, because apparently there was a threat and we don't know the form of the threat. And the reason why I'm congratulating the school is because they actually informed the parents. I made a big deal about it about a couple months ago. Matter of fact, I take that back. It was longer than that. It was back when school was in session, because maybe within that last month or a half or so, it was reported through the news. That's how I found out that there was a threat to the school. Same school. But instead of informing all of the parents, they just informed the parents of the grade level from which the threat was made to, which is the stupidest thing ever, because it's one damn building. That is the most, who came up with that idea? I still struggle with the mentality of the people making some of these decisions. But I've received like 3 messages now, and that's great. I'm very happy. I mean, if they was doing a macaroni cheese bake-off for the 7th grade volleyball girls team, I get all kind of damn messages. Come to the macaroni bake-off. A student makes a threat to the school, we get nothing. Or that was the past. This is a new year. I'm thinking positive. Can't you tell? Thinking positive. So I'm glad that they're communicating with us now. Thank you so much. You know why? That's because it's the work of parents, the work of shows like this. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it's important. It's just very, very important. So I got another message last night. And you know what's so crazy about it is my daughter told me that there was a whole bunch of kids that wasn't in school yesterday. These parents wouldn't let their kids go to Walnut Hills. I don't know if the media's reporting that, but there was dozens upon dozens of kids that was not in school yesterday. And from what I was told, it was going to continue throughout the week unless something was done. Then last night, I got a message kind of late too, relatively, saying, okay, well, actually, the threat is no longer there or something. And I got a robocall from the principal, black principal, Chambers. And we'll see. We'll see. Was that in the news yesterday? The fact that parents at the most successful Cincinnati public school did not let their kids go to school yesterday because of a threat. I'll say it again. It's a pressure cooker over there. They've been warned. I know it for a fact. I've been told that. They have been warned. We don't want Walnut Hills to be another Columbine. It can happen. It can happen. You got kids over there that's being pressured to get a 6.0. You got to get a 5.0 and all this other kind of shit. At the same time, if you don't have administrators and teachers and a staff that can recognize and deal with this, which they did not last year. Walnut Hills did not. They suffered in that. And I know for a fact that they put a lot of things in place between last year and this year to address exactly what I'm telling you. I'm not shitting you. I'm telling you, that's a problem. You're hearing it here. I hope it never happens. I asked my daughter, was she afraid of it? She said, I'm thinking about it every single day, Dad. That's what she told me. That's what she told me. She told me, I'm thinking about it every single day. As her father, I got to keep 100% on my phone. Anything can happen. I got to be ready to move at any moment because I can get a phone call saying something crazy went down. Don't think that this can't happen in Cincinnati. It can and it will happen unless the adults involved change the environment. They have to change the environment. It can't happen. Dozens upon dozens of kids were not at Walnut Hills yesterday because their parents were afraid that they was going to get murdered at the school. That's what happened. Think about that. That's deep. That's super deep, y'all. Thank you so much, Pat. I did make the correction. Appreciate it. Pat cares. She cares. I appreciate it. Think about what I'm telling you. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. It is the truth. So within 4 months, we've had 2 threats of violence to Walnut Hills. Why? I would be lying to you if I told you that people don't recognize it and they're not working toward creating a different culture, because there are people doing that at that school. The administration is working. Are they working efficiently and fast enough? I hope so. I hope so. I really do, for the sake of our children. Like I said, I asked my daughter, how do you feel about it? She said, I think about it every single day, Dad. That's what she told me. And that's because as a student, she's getting it and she's hearing the chatter in a different way. She's hearing it in a different way. You know, from her, she's hearing how the students are, from a student lens, how the students view the school. I don't know if anybody really wants to talk to those kids. I don't know. Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. We're living in a crazy world. Things happen like that in an instant. Can't take it back. I'll leave you with that. 513-873-7134. I think I've given you the number quite a bit this morning. And good morning to you. Now, later on today, I'm going to be a part of a photo shoot. There's a local biz that's doing, I guess, a photo shoot to promote what they're doing, which I can get into. And they've asked yours truly to be a part of it. Now, why they asked me, I don't know. I don't know. I'm no model. But I'm going to do it. And I'll post you some behind-the-scenes photographs on social media. So if you start seeing, what the hell is Nathan doing in a tuxedo during the middle of the day? That's what it is. Just to give you a heads up on it. And good morning to you. What the hell? A prosecutor announces that there'll be no charges filed against an officer in an officer-involved shooting that took place over in Avondale. Okay? Speaking of Avondale, shout out to Sandra. Miss Sandra, the new president of the Avondale Community Council. I know they had their first meeting yesterday. I was not in attendance, but I got a chance to see a lot of the images. Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters announced on Tuesday that no charges will be filed against the officer involved in a shooting in Avondale. A 20-year-old man was shot by a Cincinnati police officer in Avondale, and this happened back on September 11th. In the intersection of Ridgeway and Blair, just a block away from Woodward Park. According to the police chief, an undercover officer working in the area saw a man removing a handgun from his pocket and placing it in his waistband. Stop right there. Okay, so we know that in Ohio, it's legal to openly carry. It becomes illegal when you try to conceal it. Now, if you got a CCW, you can conceal it. But that doesn't mean that police won't stop you if they see you, depending on the time of day, what you look like in the neighborhood, right? The undercover officer, let me get back to this, who was one of several officers patrolling the area, broadcast the man's description from his unmarked car. Apparently, they approached the man, and the police chief says that the officer gave him 3 commands to show his hands. Apparently, Mr. Jackson, that's the man who was actually shot, He removed his hand from behind his back, revealing a gun and pointing it at the officer. Quote, this is a quote from Dieters. If you have a gun and these officers are telling you to show your hands and you pull a gun out of your waistband, you're going to get shot. Okay. Well, did he point it at him, or was the so here's my question now. Does it matter the position of the gun? Do we expect in a situation like that, officers are drawing on you, they're asking you to put your hands up, they know you got a weapon. Instead of putting your hands up, you put your hand on the weapon. Now, did he point the weapon at the officers? Or where was the action side pointed? You know what I'm saying? Like, was the action side of the gun pointed at the officers? And by action, I mean, did he grab the gun like in a way in which he was trying to surrender it to the officers? Does that make a difference? Apparently, he got shot one time in the torso and then was told to put the gun down. Apparently, he immediately fell to the ground, and the officers summoned for the Cincinnati Fire and Rescue to get to the scene. Apparently, they started putting life-saving, what the police chief called life-saving techniques. They started applying them to this man. And the entire incident was caught on the officer's in-car camera and the dash cam footage. They actually showed it at the conference. Did you see it? Are you satisfied by what you see? I mean, does the dash cam video, does it exonerate the officer? Tell me. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. CJ writes, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, CJ. Ashley's in the house. She writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. You tell me. Does it matter? Sounds like the officers did the right thing. Or do we have a problem here? Is there more explaining that needs to be happening? You tell me. Cincy Tigers writes, I expect there to be a threat, not someone ignorantly trying to discard the gun in front of the officer. Pat writes, the video was released yesterday of the officer-involved shooting. Yes, it was. Clue Magic writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Let me see here. Let me see. Let me go way back. Way back. Somebody writes, marriage is a business on many levels. Yes, it is. Ray writes, Nathan, I remember that. You went ham. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And thanks to one of the Choppers that listens, I was told that, CPS was informed. Someone who works at CPS was informed of that rant, and thank goodness. It's just communication. Over-communicate with kids. I'm okay with all the macaroni parade and party stuff that I get. I'm okay with that. As long as I'm getting the real information about emergency situations and things like that. You're like, as long as you let me know when, Supreme Court Justice Sotomayor is going to come to town, I'll have to get that from the media. I'm cool. I'm all cool with it. I've still yet to get an email about that, though. So these Tigers writes, good morning. What is this I'm hearing? I have a staff member at Walnut. I heard nothing of this. Yeah. Absolutely. What I'm speaking to you is the truth, Cincy Tigers. Yes. There's a palpable sense of fear among some of the kids about that. And I think it's because you see this stuff about high schoolers being killed by a classmate, and that stuff sticks with young people who are still in high school. Like, I'm not in high school anymore, so it still sticks with me because I have children. But if I didn't have children, it wouldn't stick with me as much, I'll be honest with you, because I'd never be in a school building. If not for having children, and if I wasn't working in a school building, which I'm not currently, I would never be in a school building. So I wouldn't have as much anxiety. But I'm in a school or at a school every day. And I'm going to be for the next, how's junior? See, the next at least 15 years. It is what it is. Climatic writes, Ray writes, Nathan, no harm on the young man that proposed to the young lady. Nah, it ain't no harm. It's just like anything else. I mean, I think people should be able to have their shine. And I think that having like somebody graduates, like my daughter, she has all these things she wants to do, right? And all of them lead through higher education. So 10 years from now, she'll be 24, 5, 6. She'll be completing or near completed or having completed some parts of it. When she finishes all of that and she attains the educational level that she's looking for, that's cause for celebration. That's cause for celebration. And that's the only thing I want to celebrate on that day. I don't want her celebration to be diluted because some dude decides, oh, I'm going to use this day to propose to her. No, we're not going to use that day. You're going to get your own damn day. You're not going to step on her toes. Period. And that's how I looked at it. I mean, it was cheap. That's a cheap way of proposing. I'm going to propose on the day that she graduates from college. That's cheap. Come on, think about it a little bit. Bring a little something to the game. Her family's already there. They've already got a party. They paid for everything. And your ass gonna come in here and propose on that day. I take it disrespectfully. I think it's disrespectful. I'm sorry. It might be sort of like ignorantly disrespectful. I get it. I don't think he's maliciously thinking I'm gonna steal his shine. But as the parents, it's your job to be able to think about all these kind of things. Like on my daughter's graduation, the whole day is her graduation. The whole night is her graduation. That's it. That's all we going. And then we can do your wedding, whatever, a week or two from now. We can do that then. CG Dubs in the house. Good to see you. Ray writes, ham, you went ham. I guess I did. And shout out to the Choppers. I guess I did. But, only for the kids. It was about the kids and just the frustration of being a parent. But this parent thing is hard, man. The hardest thing about being a parent is just the anxiety you have when they're not around you. When they're with me, it's all good. I got them. But when they're not with me and I have less control, that's when the anxiety comes in. Got to trust other people and all that kind of stuff. Not so good with that. Trusting me, I can do that. I got it. Trusting some strangers, that's not my forte. That's not my forte. Let me say it again. If you're interested in a CCW class, we got our first class. It'll be this Saturday. $90 is the total cost. You can bring your own firearm, but you don't have to. Okay? We'll be going to do in the first training with the Ride or Die folks. Okay? 8:15 a.m. this morning. I'm sorry, on Saturday morning. And it's going to be an 8-hour certification. If you don't want to bring a firearm, don't worry about it. They are going to provide them. Okay? And you're going to get a chance to use a revolver and also an automatic as you figure out what's the best kind of firearm for you. Okay? And we're going to be trained by former police officers, black folks, pardon me. And that we're going to kick it off this Saturday. The total cost is $90. Cash App me to the Nathan Ivey Show. And, if Cash App doesn't work, you can also PayPal me as well. Okay, the Nathan Ivey Show as well to PayPal. Either one will work because it keeps a great record of you actually making a document. I'll have the documentation of it. And the way it works is your confirmation will be your payment. Now, if you send me $90 and then Saturday, which is this Saturday, rolls around and you can't make it, don't worry about it. I'm not going to cash it. I'm going to leave it sitting right where it is. And I'm just going to pay it forward or refund it to you, whatever you want me to do. Okay. We're going to set up another class. It'll be the second week at this point, the second week. We got 2 days open, the first and second Sundays. I'm just saying the second Sunday so we have more time, but I'll give you the whole deal so we can figure out what works for you. If that doesn't work for you, then we'll make more times. Okay? So what I'm hoping for is to develop a relationship with the folks in Ride or Die. So what's the purpose of this? The purpose is not to just get your CCW. If you want to do that and jump off, cool. But I see this as the first step. So let me know. And you're more than welcome to any of the choppers. And that's a chopper rate of $90 exclusive to us. And let me know. It all goes down. So the other dates will probably be on a Sunday. Now, the Ride or Die folks, typically they do their trainings on Sunday. They're doing something a little special for us on a Saturday. Okay, typically what they do, Sundays work best for them and their usual facility. Okay, so I want to offer some Sundays as well. And for now, we got the second Sunday of October as the potential date as well, if you are interested. Okay, so just let me know. People are like, well, second Sunday, that would be the 12th of October. First Sunday, I'm sorry, I take that back. That would be the 13th of October. The 12th is a Saturday. Let me know. Cincy Tigers, let's get back to this. Cincy Tigers writes, he never pointed a gun. That's my biggest issue. And they specifically told us that he pointed the gun. Video disproves this. Exactly. It's almost like what they said when they said that a plane hit the Pentagon. And then when you looked at the wreckage of it post 911, there wasn't enough wreckage for a 747 to have hit the Pentagon. We still don't know what hit the Pentagon that day. But, law enforcement likes to make it seem like, police just don't know what they're talking. I mean, average citizens don't know what they're talking about. So there's a difference between pointing a gun at somebody and having a gun in your hand. Or is it all the same? Or is it all the same? Well, let me ask you, as a private citizen, is it all the same to you? Is there any difference to you? If you're in a situation where you got your gun out and you tell somebody, for whatever the scenario is, maybe you fear for your life, you tell somebody, look, don't move. And they reach into their waistband and grab a weapon. Does it matter whether their fingers on the trigger and the barrel is pointed at you, or let's say they're picking up the gun and it's sort of dangling in their hand upside down, they're about to surrender? Are you supposed to wait to sort of like look and figure it out? Is that too much to ask for law enforcement? Is that too much to ask? I mean, you're asking other people to put their lives on the line, right? So easy for us. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Something to think about. Clumagic writes, if it was an officer and he had a gun pulled out and pointed at me, I don't think I'd be checking to see if it's the butt or the business end of the gun aimed at me before deciding to shoot. It's a split-second decision. I can agree with that. Jared's in the house. Good to see you, Jared. Broadway Flow writes, how do you enact population control without resistance? You get the people to unwittingly participate through dumbass pledges based on, get this, climate control. Wow. Anyway, good morning to everyone but the political zombies. Hashtag alt-middle Ayatollahs get the money. The Ayatollahs, huh? Demo's in the house. He writes, good morning, Nate. Good morning, Chop Shop. I used to not have time to listen, but now I got time. Well, I'm glad you're here. Brian's in the house. Good morning to you. Ashley's in the house. CJ. Hey, good to see everybody. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. A poor display of judgment pulling out the gun in front of the officer. As black people, and it pains me to say this, we don't have the same luxuries, the whites, to carry weapons per police. We are always perceived as threats. Cincy Tigers writes, the same way it's a split-second decision or situation for officers, so is it for anyone else. It was silly for the man to do what he did, but he wasn't posing an immediate threat. He was clearly trying to throw the gun to the ground. I would have more respect for the chief of police if he just said, look, it looks like he might have been trying to throw the gun down, but in a split second, hey, you got to do what you got to do. What would you do? Rather than lying to us, telling us that the man pointed the gun at the officer. Well, pointing a gun is subjective, right? Like, in a tense situation, a gun in your hand is a gun in your hand, right? Pat writes, shout out my mommy. Today is her 92nd birthday. What? Your people live long. That is beautiful. Happy birthday to your mother, Pat. Sarintha writes, they shot the boy moments after giving him a command, then charged him with aggravated menacing and carrying a concealed weapon. From the start of the video, the boy was hugging a young lady. Where is the menacing? If you had to grade the job performance, your perception, maybe that's what it might be, of the chief of police, who is a black man, who is an African American, Chief Elliot Isaac, how would you grade him? How would you grade him? What in the hell, Akeem? What is you? That is hilarious. That is Akeem, man. Florida governor signs a bill requiring felons to pay court fees and fines to be eligible to vote. Doesn't surprise me one bit. Oh, man, great stuff here. Cincinnati attorney files Ohio Supreme Court ethics complaint alleging prosecutors aren't taking her rape allegation seriously. Speaking of which, and I hope this doesn't go into some sensitive territory, I'm only going to go here for a moment, but I read something, so it was troubling, very troubling. And unfortunately, I think it rings true. It's very troubling. And it was from the Huffington Post. And they did a study. And what they found is that 1 in 16 women's first sexual encounter is rape. 1 in 16. 1 in 16 women, according to a recent study done in the United States, say that the first time they had sex, they were either forced or coerced. It happens at age 15 on average. And typically, the man is often several years older. That's what the researchers say. This is being reported out of Chicago, Associated Press. Apparently, this comes from the Ivy League, Harvard medical researchers. And what they found is startling. But it rings true for me for some reason. Almost 7% of the women surveyed said that their first sexual encounter experience was involuntary. Often happens around the age of 15. And usually the man is several years older. Yeah, matter of fact, let me copy and post this because you might want to check it out if you're interested. Damn, that's a damn shame. I'm telling you, man, it's, I think that's far more prevalent than people really are comfortable in saying. But let me reach out here. How do I want to do this? Okay, do it that way. Man, let that sink in. That is tragic. Man. Cincy Tigers writes, look, everyone in Avondale is packing a pistol, not for the police, not to commit a crime, but for the personal protection of to avoid being a victim. Is it okay? Question mark. No. But this man was not in the commission of a crime. An undercover cop observed him with his gun and called for backup. Was that protocol? Right. I mean, like I said, could you imagine undercover cops being undercover in Hyde Park? And they observe a white male at the park. And he lifts up his shirt and he's got his weapon. He takes his weapon from the holster and he puts it in his waistband. Do you think that the police would have been called? I don't think so. So I'll say it again, this is an open carry state. Just because you have a weapon, see, this goes back to the stigmatization of black people and guns. There was a video that came out recently from like Price Hill. It was a video of all these young people, and it was like, and they was making a music video, and they had guns. I don't know if the guns was real or not. Let's assume every gun was real. My question is it illegal for you to be 18 and have a gun? What's the legal age in Ohio? If you're of legal age, if you want to make a video and point your gun at the video, then you're not really threatening anybody. Can't you do that? I see people making videos at the gun range all the time. When we see videos and pictures and images of white kids and guns, we don't react the same way as we do when it's black kids with guns. When it's white kids with guns, it's like, oh, isn't that cute? That's so cool. When it's a black kid with a gun, we want to call for backup, like this undercover cop did. Now, maybe the mistake was the young man. If the police think you have a gun, they got their guns, and they say put your hands up, then what you shouldn't do is put your hands on your weapon. Whether you're trying to throw it away, let's be real here. That's not smart. It's not smart. You know why? For the very reason why people are outraged right now, because it opens the door for mistakes to happen. So I'm with you. From what I saw, I'm not sure he was some big threat. At the same time, like, what's the difference between you putting your hands up and you putting your hands on your weapon to discard the weapon? The difference is that one of them is not in compliance with what you're being told, and then the other one is walking on a razor's edge. Wasn't a smart move right there, but at the same time, that don't mean you deserve to be shot. Cerintha Rice then had the nerve to credit the officer for saving the boy's life. You shot him, cuff him as he bleeds out. Now you're a hero because you saved someone you shouldn't have been shot to begin with. After all, Ohio is an open carry state. Right. So you shoot the man. You shoot the man. You shoot this man. And you didn't really have to shoot the man. And then we're going to call you a hero. Chief Elliot Isaac be landed on thick for the officers sometime. He'll get out there, and again, that's his job, but damn, he lays it on thick. And what kills me is they think people stupid. They think we can't think for ourselves. That's what they think. They think we can't think for ourselves. We can't process for ourselves. We can't look at this and see it for what it really is. We can't do that. We can't do that. If you go to, and a lot of people in Cincinnati will know this already, but if you go to Iris Rowley's Facebook page, scroll back a little bit, she actually has a link to a Dropbox, and you can watch the thing in its entirety. You can watch the entire, I'm watching the dash cam right now, because we pay for these dash cams. Let me see here. What neighborhood is this? It looks familiar. Okay, on the dash cam, they're driving around. Okay. I want to watch all of it in real time. Okay. Here he is. Again, anybody who watches this Look, the young man made a mistake. Let's put it this way. The young man made a mistake. The mistake that he made was that he was trying to throw the gun away. I don't see him pointing that weapon at anybody. For me, we never know what the next few seconds would have held, right? We'll never know that. But for me, I don't think that he was a threat. I mean, he was sitting there talking to this young girl. He wasn't a threat to anybody. He wasn't about to rob this young girl. They was hugging each other. The police came up, and my thing is this the reason why we have undercover police in Avondale? Why do we have undercover police in Avondale? I mean, to me, he didn't seem like he was going about his business. Let me watch this one more time here. Let me watch this one more time. Girls walking across the street. The officers roll up on him. He turns around and sees the officer, pulls his pants up. He's got his left hand behind him. Again, I'll say, that's a close one. It's a close one because of the stigmatization of black people. You got a black man with his hand on a gun. The second thing I'll say is these officers, man, this shit got to end. And what I mean by this is they barely gave this guy enough time to do anything. I mean, he barely had enough time to react. You go from hugging somebody to you got two police cruisers rolling up on you. And again, I'll say this is an open carry state. If black people in Avondale wanted to, every black person in Avondale of eligible age who has a weapon with what they call, restrictions or disabilities or whatever, can get a thigh holster and walk around Avondale with your gun exposed. That is the law. That's the law. That is the law. That shouldn't make you any more or less suspicious because you are doing something lawful. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is everybody's always bitching and moaning. They're so emotional when somebody gets shot. You're so emotional when these young brothers killing one another. What are the police doing? Well, this is what they doing. Let them do their job. That's what they doing. This is what it looks like. I mean, come on now. You can't have it both ways. Clean up the block. What are the police doing? We had 20 murders in 15 days. What are we doing? What's city council doing? What's the police chief doing? This is what they doing. They got other undercovers in hot spots. And if you look like you're doing something suspicious, we rolling down on you. Now, which is it, Cincinnati? Which do we want? Do we want the police to get involved? Because this is what police do when they get involved. Or do we want them to stand down and then the community's going to deal with it? This is how law enforcement deals with it. It's what you said you wanted. Let me watch this one more time. One more time. Very, very, it happens very quickly. Everything happens within a few seconds. I mean, they roll down on him. He turns around, literally, police are there. You can tell that he's taking, to me, the police should be ashamed of yourself. Joe Dieters should be ashamed of himself. And this is another reason why Joe Dieters has to go, because Joe Dieters, in my opinion, is a bigot. I think he's a bigot, in my opinion. Or he really subscribes to stereotypes. Number one, I don't think he's that good of a law enforcement official, quite honestly. I think he's terrible in court unless he's dealing with a black suspect who's underfunded and has got a long rap sheet. Because the job that he did during the Tenson trial, it's worth noting again. I mean, what a terrible job they did. It was the worst job. Like I told you, Hamilton County is good at convicting people that didn't even do shit. They real good about forcing you into a plea bargain for some shit you didn't really do, and you just got to go with it because the alternative is more time. They real good at that, but they couldn't convict a man who admitted that he murdered an unarmed citizen on video. He couldn't even get a conviction. Joe Dieters is a horrible law enforcement official. Horrible. And that's the reason why when Gabe Davis emerged from the fray, a lot of people were like, hallelujah. Hallelujah. But have you heard the rumor? The rumor is that there could be a new challenger, a new black challenger, recently stepped down as judge, Fanon Rucker. That's what the rumor is. We'll find out. We will find out probably this Friday, later this week. How would you feel about that if Fanon Rucker got involved in the Hamilton County prosecutor's race? How would people look at that? How would black people look at that? Would you look at that like, wait a minute, wait, Gabe Davis is here. How you going to step on Gabe Davis' toes? Or is it like, well, Fanon might be a better candidate. And it's all about who can beat Joe Dieters. I throw it out there to you. Speculate if you will. I want to get your thoughts on it. 513-873-7134. That could be very interesting. Like I told you, these next couple of years are going to be hella interesting with all of the open positions and all of the big decisions we got to make here locally. Keep your eyes on the internet. It can be real interesting. See here. What do you think about that? Who would you support in that race? How would you look at that? I could see that happening. I could totally see it happening. I don't know if the rumors are true or not, but I could totally see that happening. Mike Jones writes, one of those guys should run for juvenile court judge. Mason Mahler writes, oh, hell yeah, hashtag Rucker for prosecutor. Well, I'll tell you this much. In the black community, and I would say in general, Fanon Rucker is a lot more well-known than is Gabe Davis. I mean, Fanon Rucker is very visible. He's been in the community. He ain't left the community. I mean, he be at events. He be around. He opens his court. I mean, very accessible. Plus, he's a hip-hop generationer. All-around nice guy. Super intellectual. I mean, that's going to be very interesting, if in fact it happens. You never know with these rumors. Yes, the perceived threat. That's what it was, CG Dub. After watching that video, Joe Dieters just showed again why he does not need to be the Hamilton County prosecutor. He's a dinosaur. He don't know how people thinking right now. He's not reflective of us. He don't know what's going on. He don't care about the national conversation for criminal justice reform or for reform in the way that law enforcement engages with people. He don't know. He don't know. He has no idea. Joe Dieters is a laughingstock to me, quite honestly. And we deserve better. So they shoot this boy. He's bleeding out. I'm looking at the cam right now. He's on the ground. He's bleeding out. They still got their guns drawn on him like he's a threat. They need to stop with all that. So the boy's bleeding out. What do? They put his hands behind his back. You know why? Because that's procedure. Oh, he's bleeding out. Like a little bit more time and he can bleed out there and die. This ain't no joke. And what did the young man do? Nothing. He didn't do anything wrong. Now, I don't know if he's got some reason to not have a weapon. And if he does, he does. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. That's a damn shame.
Shoot me, all right?
All right, let me go back here. I want you to hear this.
Shots fired. Got a suspect down. Go ahead and start fire. You got it? Yep.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Okay.
That's what dying sounds like.
Okay. I can't breathe. Yeah, I thought you were gonna. Dude, I thought you were gonna try to shoot me. All right.
Negro, please don't try to put that on the record. These officers know this game. Hell no. Hell no. There's no reason why that boy should have been shot. If that was a white man in Hyde Park, same circumstances, he would not have been shot, period. Nobody can tell me otherwise. I can't breathe. 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 That's what dying sounds like. Did you see his eyes? Shit, close to death. Man, I thought you were going to shoot me. Why? Just because I had a gun? Man, if black people reacted to white people the way white people reacted to black people, this country would try to shut shit down. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Dude, I thought you were going to shoot me. Trying to put that on the record so he can sound like he cares. If you cared, then why'd you shoot the kid? Oh, it's his fault because, he shouldn't have grabbed his weapon. I told him to put his hands up. I'm going to say this to you again. The police rolling down on you with guns drawn is not an everyday occurrence. You never know how you're going to react in a situation like that. When you scared for your life, have you ever been scared for your life? You don't know how you're going to react. Why do we keep acting like people should be reacting normally and their hearts and heads is full of adrenaline, endorphins, and Kaplans? Your brain is swimming in all of this active juice. Fight or flight. Your body is preparing for you to take off like Jesse Owens, but you're supposed to understand everything. I mean, come on, man. That is laughable. No, actually, it's not laughable. That is a travesty right there. Should the officers be charged? For me to give you a flow on that, I have to get a better feeling and understanding of exactly what the police procedure is. Because, unfortunately, the whole you touch your hand on a gun kind of thing, in most cases, to me, it seems like the officers are able to get off, even when the officers admit mistakes or were obviously mistaken. Like, hell no, Joe Dieters ain't going to charge these officers. He couldn't even find a man guilty who he claimed thought he was guilty. Hell no. In that case, there wasn't even a gun. Sam DuBose didn't have a gun. Sam DuBose is trying to drive away. And Ray Tinson got mad and got scared and shot this black man in the head. And Joe Dieters put together the worst prosecution you've ever seen of any case ever. Has he ever had a worse prosecution? Like I told you, you don't even have to be guilty to go to jail in Hamilton County. You can be innocent and go to jail in Hamilton County. And he couldn't find a man guilty who admitted he did it on video with experts and evidence. And he had racist symbols that he was wearing on his undergarments. And he couldn't even find the man guilty. Hell no, he's not going to charge these officers. Why would he? He wouldn't be able to find them guilty. So on some levels, I understand Joe Dieters. Joe Dieters wouldn't be able to find those two men, that officer guilty. He don't have the will. He don't have the knowledge. He don't have the team. Because you remember, you go back to the Ray Tinson trial, the prosecution, they put one of these police sergeants, white female police sergeant, they put her on the witness stand, and she basically testified. Her testimony damaged the prosecution's case. So, yeah, Joe Dieters did the right thing. Yeah, no charges. Because he couldn't find him guilty anyway. Joe Dieters is impotent, period. Unless he's talking about a black perpetrator. Oh, my God. He gets all engorged in. He's ready to go now. So, no, Joe Dieters could not find these officers guilty if he wanted to. He don't have what it takes. He don't have the skill. He don't have the training. He don't have the gravitas. He don't have the in-court charisma. He don't have the resources. He don't have... no. They couldn't get Ray Tensing, and Ray Tensing, the whole thing was caught on videotape. They had experts that came in and said he was lying about being drugged. I mean, hell, you could look at the video and say he wasn't being drugged. So, black man with his hand on a gun, whether the gun is upside down, whether the gun has ammunition in it or not, in Hamilton County, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's very, very sad. Mike Jones writes, not to mention that racist judge, Leslie Gibbs. Yeah. Yeah. Serenthi writes, dude was finna shoot his shot at Slim, but was shot by the boys. The ultimate cock block ever. Wow. You're right. You're right. That's what it's saying like. What's your name? I saw you over there. Next thing you know, the police rolled down on him. Meanwhile, how are the guns getting into the community? How are the drugs getting into the community? Meanwhile, back at Evil HQ, Hamilton County, it's business as usual. Because the cops are out here stopping dudes that's doing nothing. I mean, the question needs to be asked and answered, what did this man do wrong? What was the probable cause? He had a gun. Okay. That's all it takes for the black man. He had a gun.
Help me out with a possible armed suspect. It's going to be Blair near Ridgeway.
Avondale deserves better, man. Avondale deserves better. I'm sorry. Ray writes, I thought Smither made some good points on this video regarding doing your own research on candidates, not falling for the banana in the tailpipe, and making candidates work for your vote. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I agree with all those great points. You're right. I thought he made great points in that video as well. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. You know, you do your research about these candidates and how they really feel and who they really are before they started to run for office. Before, not afterward. Because everybody loves us when they're running. Everybody loves black folks when they're running for office. They love us. They love black folks when they're running for office. But before you're running for office, what was your connection to the community? What were you doing? So I agree with all of that. Cincy Tigers writes, Tensing, he was dragging me other officers. Yeah, I saw that. F out of here, right. You had other officers that lied. I'm telling you, it's a big cover-up in Hamilton County. Nobody wants to talk about it. You had two University of Cincinnati police officers that in their initial statement, I'll take that back. Yeah, University of Cincinnati police officers. In their initial statement, going back to Ray Tensing on the scene, they lied about what actually happened. And then what happened is they went downtown and got interrogated. And they changed and started telling the truth. But to me, that initial lie is very troubling. As I understand it, these officers, at least one of them, is still employed by the University of Cincinnati. How do you lie in a situation in which a man dies and you keep your job? That's crazy, man. I'm telling you, the world is crazy. But let's go to the phones here. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How's it going, brother?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
You know, Nate, not only did they lie, but Ray Tensing got back pay. That's the tripped out part. Let me say this. You know, I'm getting a little feedback, Nate. I can hear myself reverberate. I don't know, it's an echo.
Not sure what that is.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's still there, but I can still talk. Let me say this, Nate. Damn, now it's even more, Nate. I'll call you back. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, call me right back.
Okay.
Yeah, call me back. Not sure what that is. Hit me up. Mason Muller writes, I hope Smitherman realizes he has a lot of work to do then at Ray. He should heed his own advice. A lot of work to do in terms of running for mayor. Yeah, I don't even see, again, I haven't been checking for Smitherman in some time, right? I don't know, when Black Russia fell off, you know, he was really keeping that conversation going here on the show. As I said, for me, I'm not really going to focus on the mayoral race until we get 2 candidates. Until then, it's just talk. So when Black Russia went down, that took a lot of that conversation on Smitherman away from the show, because that was really never my focus. You know, we'll see what happens, who's ever best for the community. But I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. In some circles, people love Smitherman. They love him. Can't get enough of Smitherman. Love him, love him, love him. And I'm not here to hate on him, brother. I mean, people love him. Great. No problem with it. We need independent. I love the fact that he's an independent. I love that. And, you know, there's been a lot of talk about city council. I even speculated about running for city council in 2021. And if I ran, do I run as a Democrat or do I run as an independent? Or a charterite. And I've had many conversations about the worth and the value of a local party endorsement. And there is. But, you know, that doesn't mean you can't make it on city council as an independent. Because you can. And Smitherman is a great example of that. I think local party endorsement, Democrat, Republican, goes a long way. They say anywhere between 7 and maybe 8,000 votes. Right? Because now you got the party that's going to be promoting you as a part of their slate. It's very, very valuable. But that doesn't mean that's the only way to do it, though. And in these days and times, studies show, the trends show, that more and more people are identifying as independent. They are. Because they're dissatisfied with both of the parties. Even locally, there's dissatisfaction among the parties. So I'll say it again, it's going to be an interesting couple of years, folks. Keep watching. It's going to be real interesting. No one can beat Dieters, Nathan. Jeff Birding must be his campaign manager on a low. Well, who do you think will have a better chance of beating Dieters? Rucker or Davis? Only throw it out there is because that's a rumor that came to me. That perhaps Fanon Rucker will be running for Hamilton County prosecutor. And if he does, I think that that's going to really energize that race. If he does, I think there's going to be people who are going to have, there's going to be a conversation like, well, but what about Gabe? How you going to do that to Gabe Davis? And I don't necessarily look at it that way in this context. Like we've talked before about, you know, when Brother Terrence was thinking about, I'm not sure if he's changed his mind or he still is running for the 33rd against Cedric Denson. And the conversation was, well, that's already sort of like a safe seat. The Democrats got it. Why would you primary that as a Democrat, right? But that's a different context than the prosecutor's race. In the prosecutor's race, it's right. To me, it's anybody. It's not anybody but Dieters. But when I say anybody, I'm thinking about a progressive candidate. It's anybody but Dieters, right? Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's me, Nate.
How's it sounding?
I can still hear a little bit of the feedback, but I'll carry the conversation on. Let me say this. It sounds like Joe Dieters might be in the same realm with Donald Trump. Not anybody but Joe Dieters, but like you said, a progressive voice out there that can replace this man.
Yeah, I think that's where most people are. That's where I am.
I know that's where I am, too. I think a lot of people in the community are the same way. Let me say this, Nate, about the incident with the police officer. I agree with everything you said. I agree with the majority of what's said inside the chop shop. But when you talked about the situation and the cacophony of things that are going on and the heightened escalation of just the Avondale area, what do you say, 15 people killed in 20 days or something of that sort? And you talked about how people would react in that situation, a situation that normally you're never a part of. Nate, I think it's safe to say that you, and I would say 99.7% of the chop shop, if they're in that situation, the last thing they would do was reach in their waistband and pull out a gun. Agree or disagree?
Agreed.
Okay. That was my only point. Because, again, when you talk about all the things that are going around, Clue made a great point about how we're looked at, especially black men, how we're looked at. And in that situation, a bad decision led to another bad decision. And unfortunately, the second bad decision is a power given to a group of people who don't treat us equally. And we know this. Again, that's why I say, if you're in that situation, if I'm in that situation, there's no way in hell, Nate, I'm pulling out a gun. Maybe I'm froze. Maybe I'm stuck like Chuck. I'm sitting there and I'm paralyzed, but I'm not pulling out a gun, not in Cincinnati, not with CPD, and not with this, the way the atmosphere is going on right now in this environment.
Well, let me ask you this, Glenn. After watching the video, do you think that he was trying to shoot the officer or throw the gun away?
I really don't know. I mean, to tell you the truth, man, I've watched clips, and and I'll do my due diligence, and I'll watch the complete video. I got a little time before I got to go sit down at my desk, but I'll watch the complete video. But again, Nate, the whole situation of reaching into your waistband. Hell, they shot people from, just saying that they reached in the waistband, i.e. Timothy Thomas, and he didn't have a weapon. So don't put yourself in that situation. I pray for the brothers. I pray for other brothers that might be in that situation in the future. But if I got one bit of advice, Nate, I don't reach in my waistband. That's all I'm trying to say.
Okay, appreciate the call, man. As always.
Hey, Glenn. You have a good one, man.
Yeah, most definitely. That's Glenn right there. Shout out to Glenn. Appreciate the call. I'm with you, man. I mean, but like I said, it's easy to sit here in a sober situation where you're in a controlled, environment and all the variables are under your control and all that kind of stuff. It's easy to do that. But when you're out on the streets, adrenaline is going, things are happening fast. You don't know what you might do. And I watched the video, and I sincerely believe the young dude was trying to throw the gun away, because if you're trying to fire the gun, you hold it differently. Should he have reached for it? No. But Joe Dieters is wrong in saying that he pointed the gun at him. He did not point the gun at him. Let me watch it again. The barrel of the gun was never pointed near the dash cam nor the other direction from where the officer came, white officer, with his gun out. It was never pointed that way. Man, I'm going to tell you, man, shout out to Rufus Johnson, because that brother's been out there talking about gun safety and how we need to be teaching gun safety in the community. And it's almost like providing hypodermic needles to drug addicts. Some people might think that kind of thing would only lead to a proliferation of gun ownership. Maybe, maybe not. But having people understand how to deal with a gun and things like this, these things sound basic. But I'm telling you, I bet you there's a lack of knowledge, even among these young dudes that's carrying these weapons out here. Let me look at this one more time. I want to see where the barrel of the gun is pointed at. I want to have it fresh in my mind. Nah. That's not the way you pull a gun out if you're trying to shoot somebody. That's not the way you put. So, for instance, if this young man had been like on some Bonnie and Clyde type shit, like, hey, I'm on top of the world, Mom, we all going out, then that's one thing. But that's not what you see. What you see is a young dude that's got a gun. He's surprised by the officers. The officer gets out barking at him. He's like, what? Huh? He probably was high. I wouldn't be surprised if the dude was high. And to me, he's trying to discard the weapon and throw it away, and the officer shoots him one time. Now, luckily, they could have opened fire on his ass. Now, you know that. They could have put 16 in him. But the officer shot him one time. He goes down immediately and starts bleeding, and you heard the rest. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Brother Ivy?
Hey, what's up with you?
Now, come on, man.
Brother Powell.
I didn't even call in to say what Glenn said, but come on, Nathan. You know what's going on, man. You got to comply. You know you're the enemy. Everybody on Facebook who if he was Caucasian, all these things. You come on, man. You know he shouldn't even get in that situation, that scenario. You know you the target. They say, you know we the target, man. Come on. It don't even make no sense. I'm like, why are they even in that situation? You see every time you look up something happening to us, you just go do stuff like that, man. Come on. That's common sense. I don't even care who don't like it. They say, you young brothers, older brothers, all of us, we a target. And I ain't saying every officer's bad, but you can look at the mathematics of what's happening. It ain't make no sense. Nathan, you would never tell your daughter to be in that situation and do that. Come on, man. You know this man want to shoot you. You just look around. And you going to sit there and have anything to do with a gun? Man, cut it out, bro. Then when it happened, everybody's surprised. Like, after all this time, you ain't been surprised hundreds of times it already happened. Come on, man. Be for real. I'm looking at you like, cut it out,
I disagree with you. I disagree with you, Brother Powell. I do. Let me tell you.
Go ahead, Nathan.
You said,
would
I tell my daughter to be in that situation? Well, think about the situation.
Right.
Now, I'm pro Second Amendment. I believe in gun ownership. Do you?
Okay, most definitely, yes.
Okay. So whatever you believe in and you know is the right thing, you're going to teach that to your kids, correct?
Watch. I'm with you. Go ahead.
I'm definitely going to teach my daughter that she has a right to have a firearm, but I'm going to also teach her how to be smart with it. Okay?
Okay, go to the second part. Go ahead. We're going to work in the second part. Go ahead.
So I know you saw the video. In the video, my question is, do you believe from what you saw that this young man was trying to shoot officers, or was he trying to throw the gun away, in your opinion?
I'm going to ask you honestly, Ivory, what would he get from throwing the gun away? What would he get from dealing with the weapon when they was right there? Knowing you the enemy. They didn't have to leave it alone. He didn't have to go for that. Be still, comply. That's it. You would have taught her the smart way to react in that situation.
Yeah, but you didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question, though, Brother Powell. The question is,
ask it one more time.
From what you saw the video probably several times, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
In the video, do you believe that young man was trying to shoot an officer, or was he trying to throw the gun away?
I think he was trying to throw the gun away.
So do I, and that's a problem for me. And that's the problem.
Not at all. Not at all. That's why the mathematics 1 + 1 will always be 2. I don't understand. Maybe you know if they see him as the enemy. If they see anything to do with a gun, anything to do with shiny, come on, man. They shoot us and just running away. Turn our backs on them. But yet you gonna go up there and reach for a gun. It didn't make no sense. Why?
Right, and you're right. Everything you said is right, and that's why I think it's important for 2 reasons. Because they see us as the enemy. So it don't matter whether it's Avondale, whether he was an older black man or whatever. They gonna see him as a threat no matter what. So
if he was a threat, but he didn't do nothing with that gun, he'd still be here. But since they put the gun in the scenario, you know it's going because it's a fear factor. And you know the fear factor is real.
I know it's real, but we can't play into it, though. We got to challenge it.
So do you challenge it dead or alive? That's all I'm asking. You can be right or you can be dead right. Hell, because I'm confused. Don't even your statement. Don't make no sense.
I'm not saying,
don't add up.
I'm not saying him. I'm saying as a community, we are well within our rights to look at this scenario, to analyze it, and ask ourselves, did law enforcement that represent us that we pay for act in the right manner? That's what I'm talking about.
I'm right. I'm with you on serving the tech and protest and say, listen, y'all, that was unjust. I'm with you on that. Because you make sense on that point. But my point is, Brother Ivy, make sure that you communicate to your listeners, to our community. Hey, be smart. You know what I'm saying? Don't make bad choices. Because sometimes the result is not good. And majority of the time, it's not going to be good when it comes to us.
But you know what? I feel like we already know that, Brother Powell. We got that. That's not the moral of this story. I don't think that's the real moral of this story. I don't know if this brother.
That's like, now.
I don't know if this brother was high. I don't know if this brother was like stuck like a deer in headlights. I don't know what was running through his mind.
Nathan, come on, man. None of that even matters.
But it do matter.
He know he ain't enemy.
Yeah, but it do matter. Intent should matter. Intent should matter. Yeah, your intent should matter when you're dealing with law enforcement.
So you telling me that at no point of this dialogue you say, hey, listen, young man, do not put yourself in this situation.
Absolutely.
I can assure you this is going to happen.
You're right, but that's where we start the conversation. Right. That's the start of conversation. That's the first thing you say is, why would you do something so stupid? That's how we start today's show. That's how you start the conversation. But that's not where we end it.
I mean,
The next part is, as a
I feel
community,
you.
did these officers react with the available information that we have the way we think we should? I think that's a conversation that people are having on Facebook and on shows like this, man. That's what we should be saying. Because
Nathan,
we
if you see a
determine
young brother,
standards.
you carry your gun. You with the Second Amendment. You see a young brother reaching for a gun. You, not the officer. You be honest. Be honest, Nathan. What you gonna do?
Well, I mean, my first reaction is to defend myself. But just
come on, man. See, come on, Nathan.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference between picking up the gun. Again, we talked about this, man. Do we expect an officer to discern the difference between somebody throwing a gun away and pointing at them? That's a conversation.
You doing it. You're saying to yourself what you would do, and you seen the young brother intense, the young brother fade with pray, but you know exactly what the police officer mentality is right now, and it's in today's society.
I get
Glenn
it.
was right. Look at him. Look, you know he's scared. He angry. You know how it perpetuates the young black men and black men being the enemy. So you know what he's thinking already.
I get you. Like I said, it wasn't a smart move. I don't know why he would do something
Not
like
at
that.
all. Right.
And so,
That's
is
all,
he dealing with is the young man dealing with mental illness?
Come on.
I mean, I don't know. He could be mentally ill. I mean, that's not the move that a rational person would make. So the next take is either he's mentally ill or maybe he was high. I don't know.
And now we got the response that we got another brother gone because that's what happens. Yeah, it's sad.
It is sad, man.
Nathan, are you with districts? Talk to me.
Hey, I was taking it right there, man. I don't know, man. I mean, over the years, I have been with some district plans that I thought were good over the years. And then there was other plans where I thought maybe it wasn't so good. I do know that there's a feeling that people are not getting enough representation for city council. I think that's what it's coming from. But you listen, you hardcore with the politics. I mean, you tell me, are you for districts?
Most definitely, unequivocally. I'm going to ask you, like I tell everybody, inquire themselves, say that there's two different Cincinnatis. And we both know what that is. They have and have not. Hyde Park, the Oakley, Mount Adams, their side. And when I say there, I'm talking economic and race. Who represents the Fay Apartments? Fairmount. We'll be here all day. Millville, Witten Terrace. Come on, man. You know that there's not representation in certain areas. And when it comes to us, Miss Ivy, even when they claim Avondale and Bond Hill and Wall Hill where I live, you see what's going on. You see somebody coming in, somebody going out. And who is the specific person, not fraud, at all these nine that you can point at every time? Because there's no responsibility. They all point at each other. The West End is the perfect example. When you look at the stadium, oh, no, it's him, no, it's her, no, it's them. It's always 5-4, but there's no specific person, no representation, no relationship with the person who in our neighborhood. So look what we get. That's why they already divide them. How many Walnut Hills is it? How many Avondales is it? Because they separate them. So then who do we go to say, guess what? We need to specifically done, not broad, but specific, so we don't have representation.
You're right, man. I mean, it's like some of these neighborhoods are totally forgotten. If we had a district and you had one or two people that was for that, then you know exactly who to go to, just like they do the congressional district lines or the state rep lines and things like that. Is it possible? Here's what I think. I think it's possible to come up with a district plan that makes sense. It ain't gonna make everybody happy, but it might make sense.
Yeah. Most definitely. I think that like
But I was gonna say the Hamilton County District, the Hamilton County Democrat Party, they said basically, said basically in a statement that it would be bad for African Americans.
Come on, and I wonder why. Ask yourself, Mr. Ivy, as we said earlier, if you ask this party, we could be here all day with them. What the heck have we got? It's like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? They brag on 6 Democrats down there with the mayor. What do we get? Look around. You can't point at that. These parties have nothing to do with what we're talking about. Because that person, whether he be Republican, Democrat, independent, charter right, excuse me, sir, we need to ask you some questions. And we need results. So that party, cut it out. We'll be here all day talking about them. What have we got from Tim Burke? Since the so-called change that, what have we got? Cut it out, bro. Nothing. Close your eyes, what you see. That's what they gave us. We got nothing to lose with changing the system because this system has done nothing for the African American community.
Right. Right. I mean, you look at the infant mortality rate. You look at like
Come on,
the
homicide.
uneven
Come on,
homicide.
inclusion. Come on.
We just say
Yeah,
inclusion. You know, homicide
yeah,
rates,
yeah.
home ownership
Education.
rates, life
Come on.
expectancy. You know, you look education.
Yeah.
CPS is a mess outside of Warner
Come
Hills and
on.
a couple other schools.
I wonder why. Performing arts. I wonder why. Where's all the money going? Come on, Nathan. This ain't no mystery. Why are you getting D's and F over here and A's and B? Go look at the buildings. Go look at the books. Go look at the students. The man, they think we stupid. Mr. Ivy, we have nothing to lose from starting districts. The conversation alone. And if you ask why these parties are not behind it, because the good old boys want the same old, same old. If you do what you've done, we're going to get what we've always gotten, friend. And common sense tells us that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Brother Plow, man, call me more often, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, come on. Anytime I had to, you know me, I'm dyslexic, so I went on the show and clicked the like and then all the little other stuff, and I went to Facebook, so now I got you. Now I'm all connected. I got you.
All right, cool.
And
all
get
right.
ready for your campaign, and you run it as a Democrat and a charter right. We need all the girls you can get.
I love
all
it,
right,
man.
good brother.
Hey, take it easy, man. That's Brother Powell checking in. That's what they keep saying, man. City Council? We shall see. We shall see. Ray writes, this city premeditated the gentrification of the city to ultimately change the voting dynamics to take our taxpayer dollars with impunity. Well, again, I'll say that we certainly aren't getting the representation that we deserve. We certainly aren't. We certainly aren't. And it's very, very clear. And, you know, as we go into the new millennium, the question is, what are we willing to do about it? That's the question. The question is, what do we do now? And I think what we do is we organize politically, locally. We organize. You team up with people that are like-minded, right? To create a fist and not just a collection of fingers, so to speak. And, of course, the thumb. Good morning to you. Somebody writes, bye, Drop. Speaking of Drop, we got Drop on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. Sir, I joined your show kind of late, and I heard you talking about the shooting. So I went and checked online, you know, Google, Bing search, and I couldn't find the video. So I go back into the chop shop, and Cincy T dropped in the link. And Nate, when I saw the video, it did not match your rhetoric. So I just want to make sure that I saw the right video. The one dash cam shows the police officer pull up. There's no sound, and there's a young man in black standing next to a lady who looks like they were in some type of transaction, because he had his hand behind him when the police pulled up. So as the police pulled up, the cop, obviously, that was in the shot, was stepping out of the car, and then the guy turned and pulled the gun out. Now, Nate, obviously, when you look at the video, the point when the kid is shot, okay, yes, the gun is still pointing down, but you as a police officer, Nate, this is a clear-cut case, and hopefully the young man didn't die. Did he, Nate? Did he die?
Actually, I'm not sure. Somebody might have an update on that.
Okay, because the way he fell, it's possible that it wasn't a fatal shot. But my point, Nate, you cannot defend this young man. Okay, Nate, you have to call out ignorance, stupidity, and poor judgment when it happens. We all know that in the Cincinnati area, there have been a number of questionable shootings, Nate. But in this case, Nate, you have to be honest with the community. They need to know, and you are the kind of person that can tell them. Just like Brother Powell was on the line. He said, Nate, you gotta call out stupidity when you see it. The young man shouldn't have got shot.
Speaking of which, that young man is from what I'm reading here, is supposed to make a full recovery. He's been charged with carrying a concealed weapon and menacing, aggravated menacing.
Right. Because probably more than likely, Nate, the gun wasn't loaded. Okay? But the fact that he pulled out a weapon and raised it, it was coming up, Nate.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
After watching the video, and again, it sounds like you did watch the right video, do you believe that young man was trying to shoot a police officer? Was he going to fire upon the officer? Or do you believe he was trying to throw the gun away?
No, I think he was pulling it out to shoot.
Well, I think you should go back and look again. And I think this time when you go back, you should watch it about, how many times you watched it? Just once?
Nate, I was in law enforcement. I don't need to watch it 5 or 6 times.
I'm just asking you. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
No,
yes,
I don't.
Do. Yes, you do.
No,
yes,
Nate,
you do. If you're
I've had training.
You got to watch it more than one time because it happens real quick. It happens real quick. You can't watch a video just one time and think you're an expert on it. You got to watch it. I mean, you got a photographic memory? Do you have a photographic memory?
That, Mr. Ivy. I can hear the passion because it's your community, Nate. I understand.
I'm just asking you,
but
do you have a photographic memory? Because if you don't, you got to go back and watch it again and get the details.
Okay. All right. I will, but obviously I can't do it right now. Okay, so you tell me what I should go back and be watching for.
Go back and watch. It's going to happen really quick. Go back and watch when he watch his hand, look at the angle of the gun, and you might have to watch it a couple times. And then call me back and then call me back before 9 a.m. and tell me if I'm wrong.
No, Nate, I can tell you right now because it was clear. Because I was listening to you describe what was in the video. I was reading some of the commentary in the chop shop. I heard Mason Mahler's call that preceded Brother Powell. Okay, so when I saw the video, I said, Nate is not being completely honest with what happened in that video. You're tying all the other shootings into that video, Nate.
Well, at least I watched it more than once. You only watched it one time. I mean,
Nate,
unless you go back and watch that video a couple more times, you're in no position of authority to question what we're talking about. It happens too quickly. You just missed it.
No, Nate, listen. Okay. Let me tell you what I saw. Okay. When the first video that's shown is from the dash cam, not from the officer who actually did the shooting. It was another officer off camera. Okay. I didn't see him shoot. All I saw was the car pull up. He's standing there with the lady. Okay. The lady is on his left. Okay. When the police officer pulls up with the dash cam, he reaches and turns. He turns toward the officer that's off camera. And you can see the gun because he goes from his waist. Because Nate, if he was pulling the gun out, he would have just pulled it and dropped it right there. He wouldn't have pulled it and extended his arm in a motion. Okay, the police officers aren't going to wait until the gun is pointed at them, Nate. They're going to shoot. Now, obviously, it wasn't a fatal shot, and that's why I said it didn't look like they killed him.
You're being dishonest. You are being
Nate,
so dishonest. You're being dishonest.
Because
you're being dishonest. Because you and I both know that it doesn't really matter what he had in his hand. And you know that, Drop.
Nate, let me ask you a question.
If he had a cell phone in his hand, he would have got shot. And you know that.
Nate, have you had any law enforcement training?
Yes.
No. Have you ever been to a police academy as like a guest and walked through any of the police training or participated
via hundreds of hours of watching sitcoms and television?
No, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah. You know, in that case, I have. But have I? You already know the answer to this. Why are you asking rhetorical questions? The answer is no.
Because Because you do the same thing to me when you ask me if I had a photographic memory. That has nothing to do with my eye because Nate, here's
Had nothing to do with your
something
eye.
for
I
you.
was challenging your memory. That and had nothing to do with
Okay,
your eyes. You're right.
Nate. No, listen, Nate.
Does it
Nate.
make a difference, Drop?
The,
Be honest with the people.
Nate,
You and I both know.
I am. Listen, you're trying to overtalk me. I'm trying to give you some experience from my law enforcement background in the military.
Oh, you're right, sir. Please share.
Okay, because Nate, see, the eyes cannot see what the brain does not know. Okay, and that's why a lot of times these videos, you don't see the whole interaction. Okay, so all I'm telling you from my police and law enforcement training in the military, Nate, that video is clear. I don't know what the young man was thinking, but he obviously didn't know about carrying a gun. Okay? Because again, Nate, we got these kids out here running these streets with no guidance, no leadership, nobody to tell them if you got some heat on you, wear a belt. Okay? Because if you get pulled over by the police, you can't have a gun in your waistband and say you was reaching to pull up your pants. You gonna get shot. Let alone pull out a weapon and pivot. Nate, look at the video because I know you're looking at it while you're talking to me. He pulls the gun and his body motion pivots, Nate. He turns. Okay? If he was just dropping it because he didn't know what to do, police roll up on him fast, okay, he could have just reached and just dropped it right by his leg. But he did not, Nate. So, again, the eyes cannot see what the brain does not know. Okay? So, again, Nate, whenever these videos come out like this, it's going to be because it was a justified police shooting. So, and he wasn't charged with anything, felony or anything, I don't think. So, that's my take, Nate.
Well,
I'm sorry you don't like it.
You need to go back and look at the video again. He didn't pivot. He actually turned and took a step toward the officer. The reason why is because...
That's my point, Nate.
Yeah, but your point is what? The point is what? You're right, I was watching it. His hand never raises with the gun, and you don't even know the position of the gun in his hand.
Okay, let me ask you this, Nate.
Does the position of the gun in his hand matter?
Nate, no.
Okay. Does it matter? Does it matter what was in his hands? Because earlier you said, hey, if your pants fall down and you reach for your pants, you're going to get shot.
Exactly.
Okay. So these black people are getting shot for non-compliance. It really don't matter what they do. As long as they comply to the officer. That's what it really comes down to, right?
No. See, that's what I'm talking about, Nate. Bro, I understand your position, Nate. I've been through it, Nate. I keep telling you. Nate, these things happen a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times for those reasons that you mentioned to Brother Powell. Mental illness, drugs, ignorance, stupidity. People out there in these streets, Nate, they don't have the same thing that we had. They don't have a boys club. They don't go to the barber shop. I mean, they don't go to church. It's these things. And again, Nate, I sympathize to you. It's happening in your community. You see it every day. The shit, it takes a toll on your psyche. But Nate, when you see something that is clearly wrong on the part of the victim, okay, anytime you receive any type of injury from a police officer, whether you're a criminal or not, you're still a victim of that. Okay, so streets, Nate, you can save them, Nate. You can help them, Nate, by pointing out when somebody do stupid stuff in the street that causes them to get shot. And Nate, I checked naturally. There's no sign of the video because it's justified. But for people of Cincinnati who live in these communities, who know these kids, who are close to go to school or teach them or drive the bus or whatever the case is, Nate, it's hard when you got to go every other week. You hearing about these things, just hoping it's nobody in your family. But Nate, I understand, bro.
Well, thank you for understanding, Tribe. Appreciate that, man. And thank you for breaking it down. So basically what you're telling us is that, you know, we being too emotional, and that unless we're law enforcement, we don't know what our eyes are telling us. That's what you're telling us.
I'm saying sometimes, Nate, when you see something that you clearly can see that the kid made a mistake, whatever he was thinking, Nate, it was wrong.
Said that. That's the first thing that came out of my mouth.
Okay, I'm just saying.
The first thing I said, that's obvious. But that's not where the conversation should end.
I know, but I kept hearing a lot about Joe Dieters this and other stuff.
Well,
and I
understand why Joe Dieters didn't charge him. He couldn't possibly find him guilty. He's not enough of a lawyer to do that. He don't have the skills for that,
right,
or the will. But
right.
But I think I appreciate you bringing a balance to the show, though, man. And even though you take a lot of heat.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead.
I would say, even though you take a lot of heat, I appreciate you being here, sharing your opinion.
Well, you're welcome, Mr. Ivy, and I appreciate you giving me the time. So on that note, I'm staying out of y'all local issues. Drop Squad 52, walking while retired. Dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
Yeah, that's what we should all be aspiring for, walking while retired. That's what it's all about. I think we had Black Lion on the line. He hung up. I was going to try to squeeze this call in. I got to make a move. Yeah, I'm in the barber's chair at 9:30, and at 10:30, the lights go on for the photo shoot. They need a big man to be there to represent for the big guys. And I'm going to be your representative. We'll see how it goes. What the hell just happened? Let's take Fame. What's up, Fame?
Oh, I'm outstanding. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome.
Yes. I don't really want to get into that issue too deeply. I'll let y'all have that. Plus, I caught the end of Brother Powell's call. Good to hear his voice on this station. But I did notice. Well, I'll put it like this. I saw yesterday. I was watching the press conference. If I'm not mistaken, did I hear Joe Dieters say the officer should be commended because he saved his life by giving him first aid so quickly?
Correct.
Yeah, I thought that was a bizarre statement from the prosecutor. But I noticed during that press conference, and it made me think of it when I read Sister V's comments that Chief Isaac is a weak chief. I don't have no opinion on it about one way or the other. I just know he's a dead man walking. He's going to get fired soon. But was it just me, or did anybody else notice the way he was leaning onto the podium? I've never seen a person with power, or stature in the community behave like that, lean like that. Just the way he was leaning on this, it gave Sister V's comments more life that he's a weak man.
What do you mean? So
I don't mean physically weak. I mean just like emotionally and power wise and just his whole swag is weak. The way he was leaning on the podium, you have to watch the video. The way he's leaning on the podium. Everybody talks about body language this, body language that. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the body language I got off of Isaacs.
I didn't catch that.
You got to watch this. I've never seen a person who's supposed to exude power just by their presence. He's the police chief of a mid-American, of a mid-sized American city, and he's leaning on a podium, very unprofessional, very just like she said, weak. I've only seen one person behave like that had power, and it was Jim McElwain. He used to be University of Florida's football coach. I saw him behaving like that on the sideline once, and he was fired like a couple days later. He just didn't have an adult presence at that podium. Jack Isaacs, or what's his name? Chief Isaacs did it.
I gotta go back and watch that, man. I'm gonna go with your eye. I'm gonna go with your eye. I'm gonna go ahead and trust you on that because I think that's interesting. I missed that. Now,
well, I wear glasses, so you don't want to go with my eye. Trust or verify.
Yeah, but you do right. But you do have glasses on. But I'm just saying, a lot of people would even looked at that, and that's interesting because we already heard of rumors that Cranley wants him out. He wants to put a West Sider in as the new police chief, and I don't think that Isaac is going to be around much longer, one way or the other. Actually.
Oh well, I mean, his reign is just a formality at this point. I mean, the writing's been on the wall since not before.
Now say that one more time.
But yeah, I mean, maybe somebody else saw something different. I just did not see a powerful man.
Huh.
I mean, I don't want to sound all corny, but I didn't feel safe with my life in his hands.
Is that right?
After seeing him lean on that podium like that. So,
okay, I gotta check this out. This must have been a hell of a lean.
Like Dungetta says, maybe it's just me, but I don't know. But that's all I got for you today. I'll holler, B. Be safe.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm on the way out. Got an appointment. I'm in the barber's chair at 9:30, so I got to make a move. Let's see. One more call. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nate. Your phone lines wasn't going in right.
I was trying to get you in, man. I got a couple minutes. What's on your mind?
Nothing, man. I mean, look at everything. Man, drop silly little motherfucker. I saw that video, and the brother was trying to put the gun down. He wasn't trying to aim it at him. He clearly bent over to put it down, and that white-ass cop shot his ass. Bottom line. Now, white boys can go into church and shoot up the whole place and walk out. Put the gun down and leave. And go to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. Man, what kind of shit is that, bro?
I agree with you, man. We see eye to eye on that one. You know what? I'm going to step off right there. That's a good place to say, we'll talk tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7 a.m. I got to make a move. Have an excellent day, and we will talk real soon. Again, if you want to be a part of the CCW class, it's this Saturday, 8:15 a.m. It's going to be approximately 4 hours to get your CCW certification. $90. You can cash at me or PayPal me, Nathan Ivy Show. I believe on PayPal, it's the Nathan Ivy Show. Please be sure. I want to make sure that I get anything you send to me. If you can't make it to this Saturday's CCW class, don't fret. We've got, this is going to be a long-term relationship. So we got more classes set up in early October, the second Sunday of October. We're doing this on a Saturday. And again, typically, they're just doing this just for us. Typically, they don't do it on Saturdays. Typically, they like to do it on Sundays because it gives them access to different facilities, which as we go deeper, then we'll get access to as well. I like to end up doing it on Sundays because it's a natural fit for those guys. And, listen, I expect my wife to go through this as well. We're church folks, her much more so than me, but I do attend every once in a while. So I understand. I'm trying to break up your Sunday routine. But if you want to get certified and then get beyond that into tactical, then perhaps you can join us. The cost is $90. That covers everything. They're going to have a couple different types of weapons out there. If you're going to bring your own firearm, they're asking you bring at least 50 rounds. We're all going to do at least 50 rounds together. And, well, that's it. Have a great day. I'll catch up with you real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivy, and I'm out.